Alright, taking a break from the A-pillar project because I ordered some stuff and the wrong stuff came in. Whatever, shit happens, be fixed. So, door hinges, I already taken them apart. Hit them with a little bit of a sandblaster. Not too really worried about how they look because they're going to be buried behind a door anyway. If I turn it like crap, Ring Brothers would make an absolutely killer set, but for 50 bucks in an hour or two I'll have in these things, yeah, 50 bucks. And so clean them up, put new pins, bushings, and all that stuff in there. It's well worth it than the 600 bucks that the Ring Brothers want for their billet set of hinges. All right, here we go. I really need to get a real workbench one of these days. One part, knocking these bushings out. One bushing. That's the oversized hole because these things are already been repaired or rebuilt at one point in time. One set of bushings out. The other side doesn't have them. The other side doesn't have them. And where the pin goes through. Here's the new bushing kit. And this already comes with oversized bushings for that. Along with a detent roller. What is that? Let's see here. Flanges look pretty straight. That one actually looks like should fit in there. If you notice, see here. Oh, what cameras? There we go. There's knurling on the oversized bushings. Because what happens is, over time, door, open, close, the hole gets walled out inside of here. And then I think I got some green Loctite around. If not, I'll use red Loctite. Green is actually for bushings and it dries a little harder and will lock that bushing in there. So what we're going to do is press that in. Press that guy in there. Same thing with the bottom. And should be good to go. Alright, so I thought I had a C-clamp. I was going to press it in like a normal bushing, but I don't. I swore I did. Oh well, I guess I'm not tripping on Depot one of these days. But use a little wood clamp here by hand and squish it in with a socket backing it up. If you've done U-joints before, same thing. A little woodworking clamp that I use for like a bit of everything. The holes measured out 490. Well, the bushing was like 488, 489. This is around the same diameter. It's in there. So you got that. Press it in. Got a little light tap to center it. You don't want to fuck up the bushing too much because they're pretty delicate, believe it or not. So this will work. Yay! Apparently not. Alright, let's give it a little tap in. Here at a solid ping. And that's how new bushing goes in. Got the knurling in there, keep it from spinning around. Red Loctite to hold it in place. And now on to the other side. Which takes a solid brass bushing and it's flanged. Shits and giggles, let's measure it out first. Let's call it 418 thousandths. see if the hole it's going to sit in is around the same. Hopefully it's smaller. It's oblong a little bit by about 0.03, but there we go. I'm in a range of 417 to 420. So a little bit of red Loctite on that guy. So I already cleaned all this stuff up before, a while ago before I started out thinking about videos. Yeah, I know green is supposed to be used for bushing installs, but I don't have any, and red works. And the amount of grease and stuff that's going to be put on this after paint shouldn't be a big deal. The worst case scenario, if I remember right, Top Down Solutions, the 3rd gen company, sells way oversized bushings for these. Not for these cars, but for 3rd gen Camaros and Firebirds and stuff. And I used them on my 88 Camaro that I had, and it worked pretty well. They're, I think, 720 thousandths diameter, so a lot bigger. They're greasable. They use 12-point aviation nuts, which I'm all about because, hey, I've built an aircraft for years. It's kind of neat to use some of that technology in the automotive world. That one was fairly easy. A little low tap here. Sounds pretty good. Nice pinging sound, is that typical ring. And this actually goes on a door like this. So, yeah, I'm looking at the car now. So this is the top side. And I want the pin going down, so that way it doesn't have a chance to fall out. If it does fall out, it's just going to fall out on itself, or fall down into the car. These are always fun to try to figure out, put back together too. Got a new pin here. Tap through, make sure we're lined up underneath. Alright, I'm going to put a little Loctite on these knurls here. Since we got the hinge lined up. And the one way you can tell that you put this back together right is the detail roller there. Put it back together right. Just roll it along. Make sure I'm putting this in there right. Yeah, it's going in. You see it's starting to go in. I mean, if I had an anvil or like a vice grip, yeah, like a vice or something like that. On the ground, a few good solid taps of the hammer. That's one rebuilt hinge. And you get the special tool to put the spring back in. It's a little clamp. So I know if I try to put this thing in by hand, this side here. So knock the pin out, the hammer. Until this thing has been in there a while, it's pretty loose. The old pin. Let's pull these guys out. Kind of nice. luckily all the pins that go in here are all the same size, so it doesn't matter which place you put them in. I also noticed a little bit of chamfer on there, so you can fit into, when it comes to the shank of the bushing and the radius underneath the flange. Actually, it's got a bit of relief in there, so that's the only way you can tell how to put that back in. Fits in there perfect. Alright, pretty simple. Driver's side, open. I'm actually looking at the door too. Why does that look like it's backwards? Because it is. Yeah, okay, I had it right. Yeah. Don't worry, I always second guess myself on everything. But hey, if you screw up, so what? Everything's temporary. Yeah, because it goes in. Yep. Taps put back in, hit home. Forgot to put a Loctite on there like I almost did. Pretty much it. That's how you put new bushings in the hinge. You know, 1,000 ways you can do it. You can do it with a Drake press. It's probably the best way, but I'm cheap. I don't have them. Have one yet. I think I never remember how to put this back together. Here we go. Got a fresh pin. Make sure I got these right. Driver side, door, about 90. It goes in there. Check it in the car. Oh, everything's cleaned up. Stuff works pretty good for cutting down the grease and grime and crud and all that crap. I took a trip out to Eastwood today. It's only about an hour from here, and they have a scratch and dent sale, and some of the stuff is pretty cheap. You figure it's a couple bucks a can for this stuff, and a little goes a long way. Cleaned it all up best I could. This is one of these times I wish I had a sandblasting little cabinet, throw shit in there like this that just quick blast it and clean it up, get back to raw metal. But much like before, press bushings in, check diameter of holes, make sure they're good, Loctite the shit out of them, hammer, press them in, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty easy rebuilding a set of hinges. I know they sell the aftermarket ones for 50 bucks a hinge or something like that, but there's something to be said about using original hinges, because from most aftermarket stuff doesn't fit all that great. I mean, some things obviously it is what it is. I just chose to spend the 25 bucks for a pin and bushing kit, and I'm literally maybe an hour into actually 2 hours maybe tops rebuilding these. I have some can epoxy primer. When I go to do the insides before I weld the cowl back on, all that stuff, I'll squirt these real quick and leave them hang to dry, and that should be good to go. Alright, it's been a couple days. Ordered some parts for the door hinges. Got new springs from the help section. Dorman, the spring tool. Thanks Amazon. Great. Order it, day and a half later, shows up at your door. But it's a door spring tool that you use to squish these springs down. As you can see, they're about the same size, same diameter. Yeah, this factory's a little thicker, but may not necessarily need a stronger spring than the new ones. Thickness of the spring does matter a little bit. My unscientific tells me they're about the same. Alright, so door spring tool, the way it works is, open it up here. It's spread apart, but it's not here. And then you take the spring, shove it in there. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass. It's been years since I've done this, so bear with me. There it goes. And then the idea is to tighten down on the nut. You can press the spring to drop it in there. And that looks to be about ½ inch. Let's see, right. 13 millimeters, not ½ inch. A 13 millimeter. And as you see, there's a little spring sits up against there, up against that little bump. Continue to tighten this with the wrench it. Like everything, I struggle with it. But it's just a matter of loosening up the nut here. and allowing the spring to compress back into its new home. There you go. So that simple. Right tool was $9 off of Amazon. Just type in GM door spring tool or just door spring tool. It'll pop up a bunch of them. But this was like $8 or $9 for this, just for this. And just a regular door spring. I think it was GM door spring for this too. But I just typed in there. And it was $2. So pretty cheap, pretty easy.